I could just listen to this song all day. Welcome to Middle Class Film Class Movie Review Edition for our Detective June?
Yeah,
Detective Movie June. We are going to be reviewing the final movie, the Patreon pick for detective movies, The Maltese Falcon.
I'm going to tell you an astounding story. The story of the Maltese Falcon.
you don't say.
Men and women hunt its evil bird. But every story has the same ending. Murder.
Mad.
I haven't lived a good life. I've been bad. Worse than you could know.
We were talking about a lot more money than this.
There are more of us to be taken care of now.
That may be, but I've got the Falcon.
You may have the Falcon, but we certainly have you.
I take another riding from you, I'm gonna take. Get up and shoot it out.
The police will be here any minute. Now talk.
Oh, why do you accuse
This isn't the time for that schoolgirl act. We're both of us sitting under the gallows.
The Maltese Falcon.
Yeah, The Maltese Falcon, a classic 1941 noir movie.
Possibly the first one, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's very well. No, I don't think so because it's a remake of the 1931 film.
Possibly the second one.
Starring Humphrey Bogart as private investigator, Sam Spade, Mary Astor as his femme fatale client, and Peter Lorre and Sidney Greenstreet as villains. The film follows a life and death quest for a jewel-encrusted falcon statuette in San Francisco. The film premiered in New York City on October 3rd, 1941. Probably one of the best times to watch this movie in the beginning of the fall. I would love to have seen that. And it was an immediate success, eventually becoming one of the first 25 films selected by the Library of Congress to be included in the National Film Registry as culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant in 1989. So it's a pretty historical, significant film. I would assume this is both of your first time watching it.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's mine as well.
And it sounds like Pete has seen this before, but
Yeah, he kind of insinuated that he's
not here to defend himself.
No, he's not. So let's just get our initial thoughts out of the way. So, Joseph, how did you feel about this movie after you watched it initially?
well, going into it knowing it's the oldest movie that we reviewed for this show.
It is.
Up until we get to pre-code movies, which I think are even older.
Yeah, that's going to be
possibly
interesting.
It's Pete's topic. So I went into it. I've heard of the movie. I've heard the name. I know I knew it was a noir movie, but I didn't know exactly what it was about. And the plot kind of reminded me of like an Indiana Jones type plot with like the Maltese Falcon, like this like ancient artifact.
Yeah.
But it's just not a action movie whatsoever. It's just a dramatic sort of mystery detective movie. And this is probably like, when you watch this movie, it's like, this is where you get like the way that people talk for the stereotypical. What do you think of?
Those like retro soliloquies that they
it's
are
like
throwing out there. Yeah.
You got the dame coming in asking the private dick for a case, you know, and that's what started the trope. It feels like this is like one of them that started that trope. And, you know, after watching it now, present day, having seen that parodied in many different ways or paid homage to, or in different movies, even The Kid Detective in a way.
Yeah.
From last week, you know, there's like definitely some things that it probably pulled from this movie as well, and other film noirs.
I could definitely see that.
This is where it originated, in a way, probably with along with a bunch of other ones.
Yeah.
And I really liked the style of the movie. I liked the aesthetic. I did like the acting. I did like Humphrey Bogart's like sort of a little transatlantic voice he was putting on. Yes, she, darling, we're gonna go solve the mystery of this goddamn falcon. I'm gonna slap you a couple times.
This is Scorsese.
Yeah. So I like that. I like that because it's in the context of this when this movie was made, which was crazy to think like early 1940s, late 1930s San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's like 2 hours from here.
Yeah.
Which was weird to see for some reason. I liked all of that. I liked the style of the movie. I did not like the substance so much of the movie. I didn't
particularly care for the story.
I didn't feel like it had much going on for it story-wise, or similar to how I felt about The Third Man. I just really could not give a fuck about the story.
All right.
Because when the end of the movie, of the story, it ends up being like, well, this didn't even really matter.
Yeah.
You know, it was more about just like the characters that you meet along the way. With Peter Lorre being that sort of like the way he talked was sort of like a, hey, you know, where's the falcon? I'm gonna find you with his little bug eyes. He felt like an Addams Family character.
Yeah.
And maybe he was, I don't know, maybe he wasn't Addams Family, but it was more just about the interactions and Humphrey Bogart's way of speaking and some of the reveals, but I didn't even really care about the twists and turns of it, of anything. I just, in the beginning I was, but then once things started getting revealed, I was like, I kind of starting to care less and less about actually what's going on. Because there's a lot of talking. It's a very talk-driven movie. Like details, actions of characters that are revealed via conversation. Yeah. And not... It's literally an example of telling us and not showing us. Oh. Where nowadays it feels like...
Think about that.
They should... It's more like you should just show and not tell. Right. You know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you could miss a lot in the plot if you're not 100% listening to what every character is saying. So that was kind of a hard, I guess, mental state to get into to be able to follow everything. Like it would probably take a couple more watches to really fully understand the motives of characters or the reason why decisions were made off camera that are explained by somebody else. So overall, like I really liked the vibe, the aesthetic, the acting, the lighting. There were some really fantastic shots in this movie and lit really well. I was like more like analyzing like how they lit things in this movie. Because they're in like a room with a bunch of like small lamps, but then there's like a light streak hitting the wall, and I'm like trying to figure out like where they placed that light and like and why that light's not hitting this character, but it's just hitting the wall in just the right way so that like they're separated from the wall and they're lit with their own light. And
so you're not even paying attention to the plot. You're like, how did they?
Yeah, I was more invested in like the technical aspects, the technical achievement of the movie, and it looks fantastic. Yeah. Like the really great black and white cinematography, and I loved it in that regard. But in story wise, I don't know, it was kind of boring.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, Tyler, what did you think?
Well, I'm in the same boat as you. I like the vibe, the style of it all. I like the old timey kind of talking going on. And it's not like making it. I wasn't laughing at it. I was laughing because I was having a good time. I was like, this is awesome. Like this is like when you think of like a detective movie. I feel like this is the movie that, if you've seen or heard about this movie, that you would jump to like, oh, thinking of Maltese Falcon. I thought, there isn't really a whole lot going on, and I wasn't emotionally invested in the story. I was more so invested in like how it looked. It's just weird. It's weird. Like, I think that's credits due where credits due, and that is the acting. I think the acting really saved what is pretty lackluster plot. It looks great. Plus, like, you know, they capture the at the time, like San Francisco, like was kind of like a seedy place. I mean, it still kind of is more or less, but like for it being in like I think it's, I don't remember if they say what year it is, but you can infer it's like in the like 30s or 40s. You really felt like it was like this, like, you know, like seedy metropolitan area. Really like that. Yeah, the ending, actually, you know, the ending kind of disappointed me in a way because, yeah, it ultimately ended up, the whole movie didn't, like, there's no point. And so it's like all of that like violence and you know, threats just for nothing to come about it, other than that they were just trying to show it. I liked it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'd watch it again, but I mean, I'm glad I did. So
it's, I mean, it feels like required viewing for cinephiles.
I feel like, yeah, like especially like if you're like into mystery movies or, you know, noir movies, I feel like that the Maltese Falcon should be required. I mean, it's in our damn government library, so
yeah,
I mean,
it feels like a staple of influence for other movies in terms of maybe story, maybe technical things, and acting.
Yeah,
you know?
The budget was astronomical. It's $375,000. And now that might not sound like a lot, but in 1941, I feel like that's a lot.
Yeah, that is probably. I mean, I don't even know what that would.
Hold on, we can look this up.
Like
we have
nowadays,
the technology
because that's ultra. So indie budget.
Yeah. $370,000 in 1941
to now. What does that look like?
To now. Oh wait, whoops.
$2.5 million.
Oh, you already looked it up.
No, I don't know. Oh. I'm just guessing. That's my guess. Are you struggling?
Yeah, I'm not as good as Pete. He's quick on this. To now. Okay, I should have put to now. Inflation. That's $8 million.
Oh, okay. $8 million.
So that's like having.
That's still low budget.
Yeah,
like nowadays.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So, I mean, I was a little shocked. I mean, I feel like $8 million went a long way back in the day. So
I mean, they were talking in this movie like he was going to get $5,000 for the bird initially.
Yeah,
and he was like, that's a lot of money. And then $10,000 was brought up, and then like
I think like $20,000 was floated,
and then it just kept going up towards the end.
Yeah, and then we figured out that Maltese is
from Malta.
Wherever.
I'm pretty sure it might say it in the opening credits.
Well, they might have, but I remember in the opening credits, they were like talking about this like statue falcon, and they had like really rare gems and stuff like that. So I kind of like that they set you up in the movie that this is an object that it has a significant value, rather than jumping into the movie and being like, oh, it's just a statue. Like, what's so valuable about it?
I know. And then like when the reveal is when they showed the falcon, I'm like, that's it. That's the Falcon.
I know. It was so disappointing. I was like, what the hell is this shit?
You guys are 17 years you've been looking for this Falcon. I thought it was going to be a lot bigger.
Yeah, I mean,
more majestic looking.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like literally like something you could find like at a Home Goods.
Yeah, 1941.
Yeah.
1941 Home Goods. I kind of wish that they didn't show it at all.
Ooh, yeah.
It's
not a bad idea.
Is it Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction where they don't show what's inside the briefcase?
Yeah, it's Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I wish they did like something like that.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they make the movie like a modern movie?
Yeah, right? Jesus Christ.
But I like that it was like wrapped up and you didn't see it right away.
Yeah.
So they held on to that reveal until like the very end when he's like a little kid on his birthday, like just ravaging like the wrapping to take it off.
He's just
and he's like
tearing it up like it's Christmas morning.
17 years I've been waiting for this. I've been on the hunt for this Maltese Falcon, and I have it in the palm of my hand. And then they do the little like, it's lead. It's not even real.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, now you got lead poisoning.
Yeah, well, now you got lead poisoning. There you go.
Good job.
Yeah, I mean, so some trivia. Let me find a good one.
What's good here?
Humphrey Bogart had to supply his own wardrobe. This was common practice at Warner Brothers as a way for the studio to save some money.
Well, it was only
so Warner Brothers was still cheap as they are now.
$350,000 budget, and he had to supply his own wardrobe. Where'd the money go? Huh?
Yeah,
film stock probably.
Maybe.
This is also directed by John Huston, who was huge at the time and still is very popular amongst old movie lover people. Mm-hmm. John Huston also directed. He was in Chinatown apparently, which is ironic, or is that ironic? Because we also reviewed that.
Yeah.
He directed in 1980. He was directing all the way up to 1987. Last movie called The Dead. And had some pretty good reviews.
Here's a pretty long one that looks like it's interesting. It says an inordinate amount of smoking is done by the main actors in this film. According to then studio employee and future screenwriter Stewart Jerome, this resulted in a feud between studio head Jack L. Warner and stars Humphrey Bogart and Peter Lorre. Warner hated to see actors smoking on the screen, fearing it would prompt smokers in the movie audience to step out into the lobby for a cigarette. During filming, he told director John Huston that smoking should be kept to a minimum. Bogart and Lorre, thinking it would be fun to annoy Warner by smoking as often as possible, got their co-stars Mary Astor and Sidney Greenstreet to go along with the joke. During the initial filming of the climactic confrontation, all four actors smoked heavily. After seeing the rushes, Warner fiercely called Huston to his office and threatened to fire him from the picture if he didn't tell Bogart and Lorre to knock it off. Realizing their prank had backfired, Bogart and Lorre agreed to stop smoking on camera. However, when the next series of rushes came back, it was obvious that the lack of smoking by the actors was taking away from the sinister mood of the scene. Huston went back to Warner and convinced him that the smoking added the right amount of atmospheric tension to the story, arguing that the characters would indeed smoke cigarettes while waiting nervously for the Maltese Falcon to arrive. So they were basically smoking in spite of Warner Brothers, and then Warner Brothers got mad. And then John Huston realized, well, actually, you know what? This prank was shitty of you guys to do, but it actually looks good on screen. Keep smoking.
This is widely regarded, I think, as like one of the best movies of all time, in quotes. Like, in the history of cinema.
Yeah.
I don't know where it ranks, if it's on the top, like IMDb top 250.
I'm sure it's
sure it is. But because it's such a classic movie and it has classic actors, you got Humphrey Bogart, one of the most classic actor names you could think of, Humphrey Bogart.
Humphrey Bogart, yeah.
His name was made to be an actor. And it's got like a 7.9 IMDb. I want to read some of the 1-star reviews.
Yes.
Of this movie on IMDb, because I think it's good to see what some of the people who really don't like it. I'm not like I didn't hate this movie. I liked a lot of it, but I certainly wouldn't say that it's one of my favorite movies of all time, or I would say it's one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah.
1 out of 10 from February 9th, 2000.
Oh, wow.
The most overrated movie of all time. I wonder how anyone can sit through this trash bag of a movie with eyes open. God help those who deceive themselves into thinking a movie is good because it was made before they were born. The movie involves a detective who goes around insulting women and hitting people twice his size. One One would think that the writer must have been suffering from a massive inferiority complex. The plot is terrible, and many events may insult the intelligence of a 6-year-old. The way the hero outwits the cops when they visit his place, when he has that meeting with the female and that French guy. And I should confess, I fell asleep around halfway and never did get to watch the remaining part.
Jesus.
Nor do I ever want to watch it, considering what a ho-hum of a movie this is. This one is more recent, from 2021. Oof, 80 years later. This is so laughably bad. I know I'm just dumb, in quotes, and I just don't get it, in quotes. But it's actually terrible, and I'm not sorry.
Okay.
Our grandparents didn't know Richard about entertainment.
Didn't know Richard.
Didn't know dick about entertainment. It's okay. We just need to live with it already and stop perpetuating this lie.
All right.
It's odd because a movie like this will turn off a lot of people, like old movies in general. Like even I will like going to this like 1941. But there are some genuinely entertaining movies that are really, really old.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know Charlie Chaplin's like a completely different vibe from this movie, but like The Great Dictator is great, and Modern Times is also really good. But obviously, those are like more comedies.
Yeah. I mean, I can see how someone would not enjoy this movie, or even classic movies in general, because I used to be a person who didn't like classic movies. I just didn't get it. It wasn't until later in my life where I appreciated the more classic movies.
Yeah.
But I mean, we live in a different time.
There was this one of Deanna's like young cousins who, at the time when she told me this, she was like in high school, like probably like a freshman or sophomore or something. And she told me like, she's like, I don't like movies where they have that grain on them.
Grain?
Like, like film grain.
Oh, okay.
Like I can't, when a movie has that, I don't like it. She doesn't like any movies that had, at the time, I don't know if it's different now, but she was like, so she wouldn't watch a movie earlier than probably 2000. Given that she was also born that same year.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, yikes.
Yeah, I mean that's a little bit extreme.
But your tastes change, and you're exposed to different things. Like going into Chinatown, I was not expecting to like it that much.
Same.
As much like along with like other maybe 1960s movies. There's a part of me that slightly dreads watching them, because of certain technical things, like this, like the sound design, like the sound mixing is like sometimes it's just like really grating on the ears.
Yeah.
But there's some. I mean, Chinatown's a shining example of like a really solid story, and a really solid filmmaking that I can look past a lot of that.
Yeah.
And then even in a movie like this, though, it still had like a lot of great technical things about it, but the story wasn't just not there for me, and it was just not interesting to me.
It really wasn't interesting, and the one thing that these older movies have that I don't like, this was like much akin to The Third Man and this movie, is they play this goddamn whimsical music. Like,
oh, it's like silly.
Yeah, just throughout it seriously takes me out of the movie, because it's supposed to be serious,
right? And
they're playing like this like happy, like like Tweety Bird kind of music, and it takes me out of the movie. So it's more work for myself to look past that to really get into the movie. It's just.
Yeah. I mean, because you could be like enjoying like a dramatic moment in a movie, and then this like Spanish like circus music starts playing, and it's like, what did this come from?
Yeah. I just don't get it. Maybe there's some historical significance that can maybe shed some light on why they did that. I'm sure there is. I'd probably look it up, but yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about these classic movies, is like it could have like a really good vibe, really good plot, and then it just completely takes you out.
Yeah, and that's our modern brains,
Yeah.
where when we've been exposed to like more like I guess appropriate scores to like what's on screen.
Yeah, they're definitely.
And so at the time when they're making these movies or composing music for these movies, I don't know what that looked like back then. People's idea of dramatic music was probably a lot different than what it is now.
Sure.
And so when they hear that music, it's like at the time it was fitting, but nowadays it's like it doesn't make any sense. Like
no, it doesn't.
When in that song, that like circus song, I think I talked about this.
Yeah.
It's like the song that was like adopted by like the circus.
Yeah.
Is called like March of the Gladiators or something like that. And the original composer, he like gave up the rights to the song and it was sped up by the circus. So it's like now it's taken on a new has a new connotation when you ever hear it. You just think of like clowns and peanuts.
Not gladiators.
Yeah, not like gladiators with like swords and chopping people's heads off, So it's like completely different. Now
we gotta slow it down like those Hollywood remakes where they have like the modern songs, but they slow them all down.
Yeah, that's a trailer.
Like boom.
Yeah, they add like a bass to it. Usually trailer music.
Yeah,
is what it's for.
Yeah.
But the end of this movie, when it's uncovered, like. O'Shaughnessy or something. That's the woman.
Yeah.
Is revealed to be the murderer of who'd she kill? She killed his partner.
Yeah.
Archer. And then tried to blame it on this other guy that we never see.
Yeah.
Thursby. What a name. Thursby.
Yeah.
And like so, like he would get blamed for that, and then he gets killed by that weird guy.
Yeah, by the
Wilmer.
Yeah, I think that's Wilmer.
Yeah, he's like a weird lackey for the fat guy.
Yeah.
and the other Peter Lorre's character. And when she's revealed to be that, like, because she wanted the Falcon, which ended up being fake anyway.
Yeah, it was fake anyway.
And then he lets her go down. Like he like Humphrey Bogart's or Sam Spade lets her like take the rap because she's the one who did it.
Yeah.
And then it just ends with him saying like, "I'll wait for you in 20 years if you're gonna get out in 20 years if you're a good girl in prison." And
so weird.
And it's like, so you're gonna wait 20 years for this woman who like killed your partner?
Yeah, it's like, no, you're not, dude.
And
you're not.
And then it just ends with her being taken away by the police, right? And by the other detectives.
Yeah.
And
then it just ends. Credits.
The end.
Yeah. One thing I didn't like about the character, the main character, what was it? God damn it.
Sam Spade?
Yeah, Sam Spade. I didn't like the way that the writers made him like instantly fall in love with a girl that was been shady from the get-go.
Yeah.
And she's like, there's this one scene where she's like, what can I give you or something like that. It's like, not money, and then just like grabs her forcibly and starts kissing on her.
Yeah.
That one like made me laugh because I was just like, oh my god, like,
how can I pay you if not money? And then he just lays
it. That's what it was.
Lays it on her.
Yeah,
sexually assaults her.
Yeah, but she was cool with it.
Yeah,
like, I mean,
luckily for him.
Yeah, luckily for him.
Although this was not like the writers of 1940.
Yeah,
like he's going around insulting women, and then they're like, "Oh my god, you're so hot."
And then I really like how he struck Cairo like I think once or twice, and he was like knocked out for like a straight up couple minutes.
I know.
And then wakes up like he's like, where am I? It's like, no, that dude would not. If it takes you like a couple of minutes to wake up, like, you gotta go to the hospital. That's some brain damage shit.
I know. I mean,
I know I'm not trying to look for it to be realistic, but it's just kind of funny, like when movies portray like these sort of things that would require like serious medical attention or legal repercussions.
Yeah,
and just hand waved.
There was a moment where I think Humphrey Bogart his character gets throat punched.
Oh yeah.
Like somebody just throat
punched.
punches him right in the middle of his throat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it was him who got throat punched.
It was badass.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you never see a throat punch.
And it's weird, like these old movies where they have like the bad guys and the protagonist in the same room, and they're not like actively trying to kill each other. They're just talking.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like it's this weird dynamic because they want the Falcon, he has the Falcon, but he's not telling them where it is.
And they're just like, oh well, whenever you want to tell us.
But we'll give you $10,000 for it.
Yeah.
And then we'll give you another $10,000 or something for it.
Yeah.
He just basically just wants the most money he can get out of it.
Yeah.
And then he's like antaganizing Wilmer, the weird quiet guy, and he's like, "You've been riding me all night long, and I've had enough. Let's have a shootout, like a Western style shootout,
a duel."
Yeah, and then he knocks him out.
Yeah,
he punches him, knocks him out, so he's out cold. And then like, let's pin it on this guy. And they're like, I don't know about that. Okay, let's do it. And then he wakes up and he's gone.
Yeah.
He like vanishes.
Yeah.
The Falcon shows up and he's got the envelope full of $10,000. And then it's just like this weird, it was just really odd. It was kind of like, it was really drawn out.
Yeah.
This whole last thing.
Agree.
And then the reveal that it wasn't real. And then Cairo is like,
"This is lead.
You fool. Of course it's fake. The other guy, whatever his name was that we stole it from, of course he like swapped it out for a fake.
Yeah.
17 years ago. And it's fake. And then the guy's like, well, can I get my $10,000 back? And he's like, sorry, kid. I did my job. You paid me for a job and I got the money for it. So you're shit out of luck. And then he asked him, he's like, well, you want to join us on searching for the real Maltese Falcon? This is where like the Indiana Jones part comes in, because like they're like the executive producers of like treasure hunters. But then they leave, right?
Yeah.
The fat guy in Cairo.
Yeah, they go
on a hunt again.
Yeah.
For the real one, and then she takes the fall, and then he like slaps her around a little bit.
Yeah,
and he's like, "I'm not taking the fall for you, darling." And then it ends, and then she's in jail, and then it's over.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to go as much in depth in this movie as we already have, because again, there's not really any substance to this movie. Like it looks cool.
Yeah.
I was trying to find like some sort of like interesting facts. There's not a whole lot. They said that the Falcon weighed 50 pounds. That's pretty intense. They made 3 of them that still exist today.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's not really, I'm not seeing any really technical like sort of trivia. So I think it's overall just a good movie. I mean, it's a good stylized movie, I should say. The plot is very forgettable, and I feel like it could have been really anything. I was desiring more from the plot because of how cool it looked. But
yeah, it was just a lot of talking.
Yeah,
a lot of talking.
A lot of talking.
Some headlines for these bad reviews are kind of funny.
Oh yeah, let's continue.
1 star, wooden and cartoonish.
Wooden and cartoonish.
3 stars, snooze alert. The most overrated movie ever made.
Really?
Yeah. Overrated. Influential but overrated. Novel's much better.
Bogart, yeah, that's right. It's based off a book.
Bogart makes it watchable. Has to be one of the worst movies I've ever watched. The director is the main problem. And then, what's all the fuss about? No suspense, no drama, no romance, no originality. Just an average detective, beautifully photographed but lacking in punch.
Okay.
Talk or sleep.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So it's there are haters out there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I can sympathize with people who say it's overrated. I think it's, I don't think it's overrated or underrated. I think it's like straight down the middle. Like
It's rated.
it's good. It is.
It's appropriately rated.
It is appropriately rated, and it is deserving of being in the Library of Congress. I think that's deserving just based on how it looks alone, and I think it was pretty much I think it was like the movie that like set off like that style.
Yeah, it might be. It might be along. I don't know where it falls in the IMDb top 250. If it is in that, let's see. It usually says it somewhere.
Yeah,
maybe it's not. I don't know.
Maybe it isn't.
It was nominated for 3 Oscars: Best Picture nominee, Best Actor with Sidney Greenstreet, and Best Writing from John Huston. And it was a nominee in the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films.
Okay,
weird.
All right, so it's Oscar nominated. Did it just say nominated? Didn't win anything?
It didn't win any Oscars. Let's see, 1942 movies.
It's 1941, I thought.
Oh, wait. Yeah, 1941 movies. Let's see, what else came out in that year? Citizen Kane. I think that probably took all the Oscars, most likely. Yeah. Suspicion, Dumbo, the original animated Dumbo. Okay. Sullivan's Travels. I don't know. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Oh.
The Wolfman, the original.
Nice.
The Devil and Daniel Webster.
That sounds familiar.
Ball of Fire, The Lady Eye, Manhunt. Okay. Well, you got Citizen Kane that same year, and was pretty...
that's prolific.
It's regarded as the best movie of all time. So,
you don't like Citizen Kane, though.
No, I've seen it twice, and I was bored the whole time.
Yeah.
But I might have to watch it again. We'll see. Anything else you wanted to mention about this?
I mean, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's let's just get some grades on this baby. Joseph, what would you grade the Maltese Falcon?
It's an interesting movie to grade because I feel like there's a lot to maybe unpack in terms of the plot. But I don't know if I would want to go through it again to do it to learn more. So I think can't remember what I gave. I think I gave Third Man a B+. I think I like this a little bit more than Third Man. So I think I would give it an A-. Because a lot of technical things for me are carrying this movie. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, okay, A-. I would have to grade this movie a B+. Mostly based on the stylized aspect of it all. Just what is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, just based on the style alone gives it a B+. Plot is just not really that interesting. Acting is really good. It's like 3/4 of a good movie. So yeah, B+.
All right.
That ends Detective Movie June.
That's the finale of Detective Movie June. So this is a first. Last time we recorded an episode with just me and Tyler.
We just had a holdover episode.
Yeah, it was like a filler. We just talked about movies that from the Wheel of Punishment. Yeah, that's what we did. And we didn't have to spin the wheel or anything. But now we did. We did an official episode without Pete. And for the first time, I think, in middle class film class history, is that I will be spinning the wheel.
Yeah, that is
to choose our next topic for July. And Detective June was Tyler's pick. So it is either going to be
yours,
the Patreon, Pete's, or mine.
Yeah.
And reading off the wheel, what's left is starting with the Patreon is post-apocalyptic dystopias, movies about dystopias in the post-apocalypse. 80s and 90s erotic thrillers. Those are both Patreon topics. Pre-code movies from Pete. We already did chase scenes for May. We're not doing Tyler, but his is the horror movies without the blaxploitation films for me, and the bottom 250 of the IMDb top 250. So so from 200,
it can't be that bad.
201 to 250. So let's do that.
1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny.
Okay. All right. The wheel's well lubricated, I think.
Yes.
Here it is. For all you watchers out there, or YouTube watchers. Here's how it sounds. That's what it sounds like.
Yep.
And we're going to give it a spin, picking our next topic. And hopefully it doesn't land on something we've already picked. So I have to spin it more than once. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Good spin.
Good spin. Very good spin.
Get the ASMR. All right, call it, Tyler.
IMDb's bottom 250.
Okay, the bottom 50, a movie within the bottom 50 of the top of IMDb's top 250.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Hello, classmates. It's me, Pete, back from Canada, and I just needed to come in and do a quick edit on this because the guys got it wrong on this. We made a commitment when we changed the format of the show that since we're rotating months, it's my topic for the entire month and Tyler's topic for entire month, etc. That we didn't want to do what we did in the first couple seasons of the Patreon and the fan picks and before Patreon and all that stuff, where we'd have fan picks on the wheel forever. People had wrote in for 2 years sometimes before we reviewed their movies. So what we made a commitment to do is that we're going to rotate months. So it would be Joseph, Pete, me, Patreon, etc. The order is random, but the whole point is we're not going to double up. Not going to get like 1 month me, 1 month Joseph, 1 month me, 1 month Tyler, 1 month me, and then Patreon gets screwed out, or Tyler gets screwed out, or whatever. So what we've been doing is it's kind of naturally got to that point. But what we're supposed to do is, here are the 2 cool-ass yard duty picks that we have. 80s and 90s erotic thrillers and post-apocalyptic dystopias. Already been voted on by the Patreon, facilitated by Heather. Thank you, Heather. And the whole point was it's divided down the middle here. Right down the middle. Anything on this side lands on this side, it's going to be 80s and 90s erotic thrillers. Anything on this side, it will be post-apocalyptic dystopias. So since that is on this side, and we landed on naturally on the IMDb top 201 to 250, our topic for July is going to be post-apocalyptic dystopias. So we'll figure out how that's going to work and who's going to be choosing that and all that kind of stuff, because Patreon pick is last. And one of the 3 of us, generally will choose the first one and we'll go after that. So stay tuned. You're going to have a surprise review for next week, but it will be a post-apocalyptic dystopia movie. I'm not going to delete any of this conversation that Joseph and Tyler had after this, because I think it was fun, but none of that matters. So one day it'll land on IMDb's top 201 to 250, the bottom 50, the top 250, but that day is not today. So anyways, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Well, let's take a look.
That would be interesting.
Because there's some movies we have reviewed already in that list. And I didn't have a specific movie in mind. So let's just look at the IMDb top 250. And we'll just pick it. You can you can look at what you want to pick as well.
Yeah, I'll come up with one next week since this is yours.
Okay, so the first movie for IMDb bottom 50, top 250, all right. July, starting at 201. The first one that you could pick is Jaws, rated at 8.1.
Really?
Yeah. That's the first one. That's 201. And then the last one is a movie called And Hadden.
Okay.
From 2018. It's got an 8.2.
All right.
Interesting. Okay. Let's take a look. I just look. That's the I don't know if it's not the lowest rated one, but all these are 8s and up. So they're all decent. Let's see. Iron Giant's on here. Stand By Me is on here. Rush is on here. Passion of Joan of Arc. Hachi. That's a surprisingly good movie. Sound of Music. The Exorcist. Before Sunset. We've covered that. Did we talk about the original Exorcist? I feel like we
did years ago. Yeah, we did. We had to have.
We did Lahane. We did that. Pete hates this movie, I think. The Seventh Seal. The first Pirates movie, The Terminator, Tokyo Story.
These are all in the bottom 50?
Yeah. The Third Man, we just talked about that last week. Rocky. Logan is above Rocky. All right.
I don't understand that.
I mean, they're both fantastic movies.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe that these movies are at the bottom of the list.
Yeah. I mean, number 1 is still Shawshank. I'm thinking, let's go at number 224. Let's go to Hotel Rwanda.
Oh, whoa. That's a depressing ass movie.
That's what I've heard. Hotel Rwanda, directed by Terry George, starring Don Cheadle, Sophie Okonedo, Joaquin Phoenix. Oh, I had no idea. And it's based on a true event. I believe. Yeah. Hotel manager houses over 1,000 Tutsi refugees during the struggle against the Hutu militia in Rwanda, Africa. I think this is like about apartheid.
Yeah, this is gonna. I've never seen
South Africa.
I've never seen this movie, but I'm aware of what the movie is based off of, and that is a harrowing turn of events. Or series of events.
So that'll be our first one for July. Kick off our Nick Nolte. What the fuck? To kick off our summer.
Yeah.
This summer good time movie, Hotel Rwanda.
Awesome.
And then you'll have your movie.
Then I'll have my movie next
week, and then Pete will have his next week, and then Patreon. Start thinking if you're listening.
Yeah.
Of a movie that is in the top, in the bottom
50.
Bottom 50 of the top 250.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit easier because you literally have a selection of movies. Already curated. All
right. Well,
anything else?
I think that's it. So thank you for joining us on YouTube Live, and thank you for listening on your podcast streaming services.
Send us an email.
Yeah, send us an email at middleclass, or is it MCFC?
MCFCpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to tell us anything, recommend us a movie, tell us how much you hate or love us.
Yeah, whatever the heart desires.
Send hate mail.
Yeah. And thank you to our cool ass yard duties. Ryan.
I don't know. Is Ryan? Okay, yeah. Ryan, Javier, Chris, and Heather. I believe.
I think that's it.
We have one slot open.
Yeah, we do have one slot
for cool ass yard duties.
Yeah,
so it could be you.
Yeah, and so Patreon members, get your thinking caps on to see what top 50 of the bottom 250.
No, you got it backwards. Bottom 50.
Bottom 50 of the top 250 IMDb list.
Yes.
All right. And then follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class. That's the part that I do remember.
Yes. Until next time. Thanks for listening, as always. And tune in next week when we talk about Hotel Rwanda.
All right. All right. Have a good day.
No.
Oh, wait, what?
Social medias.
We already did that, I thought.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I just said it. Okay, follow us on Middle Class Film Class, or follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class. I'm getting so flustered.
And on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class, as well as Twitter at Podcast MTFC.
All right, we will see you next week.
And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. The most overrated movie of all time.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later.
See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.